Dear friends, I am speaking to you from El Salvador. First of all, I have to apologize that my English is really bad, but I will make my best efforts to speak to you. I am living and working here since 10 years. And in these 10 years, El Salvador always more transformed itself for me to a holy land, to a really holy ground where I touched with the whole drama of Jesus. This year, Monsignor Romero, Oscar Romero, was canonized. The significance of this is that the Catholic Church, 40 years too late, recognized what the humble people of El Salvador almost immediately understood, that in the life of Oscar Romero, the whole drama of Jesus is present. He lived like Jesus, he acted like Jesus, and so he was murdered like Jesus. When this Sunday we are starting in the Holy Week, accompanying Jesus in his way to the cross, in his way to the dead, I think it's good to remember that this is drama, this reality of the cross of Jesus is present in the martyrs of El Salvador, in these persons who had a great tenderness to the real vulnerable, to the humble people. They defended them, but also they had a great courage to speak out against those who was moved by the greed and by interests, and so they were disposed to confront, to murder, to torture, to disappear. But the death and the passion of Jesus isn't only present in the martyrs who lived, acted, and died like Jesus. The mystery of the passion of Christ is also present in all the little ones who couldn't defend himself. And so I think, confronted with this reality of this country, behind of me is a wall with phrases of interviews we made with the victims of the actual violence of Salvadorian people. I think to celebrate the Holy Week is prepare our heart to be a sensible and empathic heart, to be able to allow to be vulnerable for the suffering of the others. If we are living in the first world, I think it's good to remember the suffering in our global world. We are living in a world where 6 million people are refugees. They are flying of hunger and violence. We have a lot of people who are suffering in a cruel way the consequences of the climatic change, like the tragedy in Mozambique. It's important to remember, to be sensible, to be empathic in a world we are living in the north of our world, always more is converting itself in a fortress. The south of the southern border of the United States, or also the Mediterranean Sea is converting in a huge graveyard of African people. celebrating the Passion of Christ is going on with our struggle, our effort to transform our world in a more human world. And this has a political dimension. But it also means to be sensible, open, touchable to the suffering of the human being who is living nearby myself. To be able to open our heart and our ears, to be able to hear, to see, to live the mystics of the open eye in front of the suffering of the others, and to recognize the mystery of the cross and of the suffering of Christ in them.